Hello, this is CJ, and this is my intro video for the Move Push Men's Group. And I was inspired to start this group through a few developments in my own life and some videos and headlines I've been seeing in the news and on YouTube. And so that's why we're here. So my goal is to facilitate men's friendships to help, including myself, to form new friendships with other men, and also to for men to improve themselves personally. So, ladies are you're invited to join if you so want, but this content will be geared towards men. So, I'll give a little background on my motivation, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what I'm trying to accomplish, and we'll go from there. So I got some notes over here to my left. Developments in my life. Later in life, it worked out that the friends I had in both high school and college moved away, or we broke up, so to speak. You don't have the same things in common anymore. So I found myself with few to no male friends, even though that had always been a priority for me. But my friends lived in different states, or we lost contact. Maybe there was a little bit of contact on social media, but that's we'll talk about that more later. But it was disappointing that my male friends had disappeared in my life, and probably it's my fault you know if not maintaining those friendships better and not prioritizing them. So that was disappointing. And then when I decided to, after my remote job, come to Southeast Asia, where I am now, and start new friendships with other expats or maybe even some locals, that worked out pretty well at first. In the Philippines and my first time in Thailand, I made some friends. We hung out together, and it went really well. But then they left, and you know didn't maintain contact either. So that was a little disappointing. I also found out that in the USA, there is what they call a male loneliness epidemic, and it's significant. It's grown that 15% of men in 2021 have have reported having zero close friends. That's up from 3% in 1990. So, in 30 years, it's 5x, significant increase. And it's happening in other Western countries as well. So, combining my personal experience with what's going on in the world has made me interested in doing what I can to see what I can do to help men get together as friends. I also want to add, and I think this is missing in a lot of friendships, an accountability aspect to this group, in that we often state we want to accomplish things and then not much follow-up happens. But I think if you're accountable to people that you care about whose opinions you care about, that's more likely to create the desired action. So accountability, I will do what I can to make that an element of this group and emphasize that in our weekly get-togethers. So some areas to emphasize for accountability are mostly health related: exercise, diet, sleep, and then finally, what a lot of men care about, I know what I care about, is financial success. So these are going to be the things I focus on mostly. Other issues that are important as well: spiritual matters, relationships. We may deal with those at a later time, but for now, I want to focus on health and finances. So if you if you join this group and you participate on a weekly basis, we'll be focusing on those things. So I saw a documentary on Netflix that I thought was fascinating, a couple years ago, called Live to 100: Secret of the Blue Zones. Blue zones are civilizations where people, at least in the context of this documentary, live for a long time, 80s, 90s, 100, and they all have some things in common. Diet and exercise, and not exercise like working out, but exercise incorporated into their daily lives. So that's something I've been working on in my life. And I've got links to those videos, and I will go ahead and put those in the description if you want to check those out. So my goal will be to meet for an hour on a weekly basis, and I'm hoping some of the men splinter off and form, you know, one-on-one relationships. Probably start, online. Some of my best friendships now are online. I've got friends in other parts of the world, um, New Zealand, US, UK, places like that. I've never met them before, but we've had some, meaningful conversations on Zoom calls. So that would probably be the start. Ideally, we would get together face to face at some point. So if, somebody joins this group from Sydney, Australia, and someone else joins from Sydney, then maybe those two people can get together and have lunch and form, um, more normal type friendship. But for now, we'll start online through the Zoom app. Um, let's see what else. So if you're interested in this, please email me at movepushmen@gmail.com. I've also started a Telegram group for more, like urgent communications, and send me your Telegram handle and I'll add you to that group. If you don't have that app, you might want to download it. And I'll probably form a Facebook group at some point, but at this point, I'm just focusing on the weekly Zoom calls and the Telegram group, and email as well. So that's all I have for now. This group will meet Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 a.m. Friday morning Thailand time. So my time will be 9 a.m. If you're from the US, it's 7 p.m. Pacific. So I look forward to seeing you there and hope we become friends. Thanks. Bye.